Hey everybody, welcome to Landscape Rescue. My name's Stuart Moore. Today we're at Lowe's, and I think we should do something maybe a little unorthodox for this channel and do a shopping video. It's been a week or two since I've been at this particular Lowe's, and I want to take some looks. I want to take a look. I want to see what we've done. I've extended that bed out in the front, and so I want to look at some clearance and see if there's anything else that I can put out there. Maybe some evergreens. Oh, I still can't do it. Bless my stars. I am seeing some clematis. No, that's mandevilla. Or bougainvillea. There's bougainvillea up here. It's mixed in with some of the clematis, so I thought there was some 1 gallon. Oh, there's a 1 gallon clematis in here. This one is called, oh, the anticipation is killing me. Pink champagne. Pink champagne. I already got one of these, right? So normally $24.98, so we're looking at $12.50 for this guy here. And well, who are we joking with? It's coming home with me. Yeah. And conveniently, they've got a cart right here for me. Pink champagne in the cart. There's more. Don't you worry. There is more clematis over here. Now these are, just the Nellie Moser. Nellie Moser. Oh, look at this big old boy. 2 gallon. Normally $47.98. Oh, geez Louise. No. Sorry. I mean, that's a pretty good deal for what clearance, and this looks fantastic. There is nothing wrong with this. This is a full retail clematis, but I don't want to spend $25 on it because it puts it in that 50% off range, and that's not something Daddy's going to do. Because, well, Titus gets hungry, and he's probably going to be about 6'3", so it's going to cost a lot of money to get him to 6'3" in food budget. We got some sunny knockouts down here, and they are normally $24.98, so a sunny knockout for $12.50. That's a pretty good deal. Might be pretty. I'm willing. Well, they got 4 or 5 of them, so you could make a pretty good go of it. At $12.50, it's not a bad deal really at all. I'm gonna pass. I don't really have a whole lot of room right now for those, but I did see some really pretty roses over here that I wanted to look at. Here's those Monrovia Nitty-gritty white, which are $34.98 for a 5 gallon. That's a really good deal. They must buy these right, because a 5 gallon rose for $34, that's 100% wholesale. That's 100% wholesale. That's good. That's a good price for those. I'm noticing that the roses are pretty inexpensive with Monrovia. So you look at the 2 gallon clematis. A 2 gallon clematis is less expensive than a 5 gallon rose by almost $15. So I think a lot of that probably has to do with grow time. These are really pretty. This bloom is done and it was falling off, so I just pulled it. Check this out. This is the Nitty-gritty peach. Nitty-gritty peach. Look how pretty that is. And they've got a scent, so maybe that's something from the Nitty-gritty. Look at that. Is that guy just not perfect? This would be a pretty rose to have up in the front. 3x3, 3x4. I'd like to find one a little smaller. Now I did pick up one of these orange glow knockouts. I did pick one of these up. So we will be planting that together here pretty soon. I think that would be pretty cool to have in there, for sure. By extending those flower beds, I've still got some issues in the back. I lost that hardy hibiscus over there, so either I could plant another hardy hibiscus, or I could plant some more bobos, but I'm feeling like that's not going to be something that's going to happen anytime soon, right? Because those are full, you know, I'll be buying those at full pop if I can even find one. I might have to go to a independent garden center to find one. Here's a butterfly bush from Monrovia. That's $42.98. So I mean, think about what you're paying for this stuff, even on clearance. Keep it. Even on clearance, you can keep it. Look at this. Okay, so I don't get to see Ito peonies on clearance very often. Here's an Ito for it's regularly $130. $130 for this Ito, and Itos are an awesome peony, or peony. Oh, it's a peony, sir. Oh, why? Yeah, I'm making fun of all you vocabulary Nazis. Not Nazis. That wasn't fair. Making fun of all you vocabulary Gestapo. Let's see here. But who's busting the Englishman's balls when he says zebra? Yeah, not you guys. You guys aren't. So it's okay to be regionally different as long as you're from a different country, right? Okay. So we're at $130. I mean, I cannot justify that. Maybe if I got a little side gig as a pizza delivery man or something like that, was doing okay on YouTube, maybe. But there is no way I could take this home and be able to look Bonnie in the face and tell her how much I paid for that thing. Because look at it. Doesn't really look that, it doesn't look it doesn't really look $60. It doesn't look like I should pay $60 for it at all. And I know I can just cut it back. Like, I get it. It's got new growth at the bottom. That's what makes a clearance plant worth it, is if it was $30, it'd be coming home with me, right? But it's not. It's not $30. Just like $11 takes us into, it makes these Asiatic lilies called tiny double Dutch lilies. It makes them $7 a piece. I don't want to look at this for the rest of the year with no blooms on it and spend $7 on it. Now, is this me being selfish, saying, I'd take every single stinking one of them for $2, right? But that's the value proposition. That's what we were talking about earlier. So that's clearance mindset in a nutshell. That's kind of how I think of it. You know, how long am I going to have to look at it before it blooms again? Well, it's an Asiatic lily, so this time next year, I'll actually get to see value for my dollar. We have a subscriber that really likes color guard yucca. I know who she is, and she's been with us since the beginning, and she runs our Facebook group. She's my leader, my Facebook group leader. But anyway, she was talking about she really likes the color guard yucca. Look how pretty that is. I've just never lived in an area in arid climate, so everything has always been so lush and so green everywhere I've lived. I've lived in Gloucester, Virginia before. I've, you know, moved to Missouri, Alaska. I mean, there's places I've lived where everything is just so lush and so green. And it's hard for me to get behind yucca in any form. But to each their own. It's about your individual pursuit in landscape excellence, not mine. I am not a yucca fan. But they do have value, right? Here's something we don't see very often, is a mock orange. They get pretty big though, yeah. 5 to 6 feet tall, 4 to 5 feet wide. Now this is snow white mock orange. And I saw one that had a flower on it, and that's kind of what made me think about stopping. Now let's do it from what I remember of mock orange. Well, this mock orange kind of smells like rubber. It smells like a tire. Was I smelling tires earlier and got a little tire on my nose? Man, it don't smell like anything. I mean, yeah, full sun, medium water needs. So you could probably throw it in with some smaller panicles. Snow White Fantasy. Snow White Mock Orange Fantasy. Here we go. Are these berry whites? Yeah. Berry white. Too big. Too big for what I'm trying to do. Here's some panicles here. Strawberry Sundae. 3 to 5 feet tall, 3 to 5 feet wide. Too big. Too big. Can't do that. Now here's something we haven't talked about in a while. These are the Black Tower Elderberry. Black Tower Elderberry. Very cool. Very cool. I did plant one of these. Didn't get enough sun. I planted it at Affinity Estates. I know it was an early video. I just thought it'd be pretty to have this as a kind of framing out one of the pillars by where people park. And I didn't realize how much water it got. It got a lot of water right there. Which I guess I did realize that. I was just hoping because they never water that was going to be okay. 8 by 4, so 8 feet tall, 4 feet wide. So 2 feet in each direction and 8 feet in the air. Yeah. Good to -30. So for most of us, our winters aren't going to be taking these out. But again, it's got a very small growing zone, zone 4 to 8. So you can't get too hot on these. I know. I've seen Laura from Garden Answers, I don't know, a couple of years ago, she had a video where she was planting some elderberry, and she's got pretty good success, but they have a high desert there, so different climate. And high deserts get really, really cold, and they don't have a lot of moisture, so it's a difficult place to grow. Alrighty. I was just looking down and laughing at where they put their watering wands. Soft shield fern crushed by a wand. But let's see. 3 feet tall, 3 feet wide. Zone 5 through 9. So good to -20. And this is soft shield fern by Monrovia. That's really pretty. That's a really pretty fern. It's got some very cool texture. I do like it. A little bit more dense. Maybe less likely to fall over and break. This is fun. This is fun. See, here's the thing. This is fun for me. And I would have a lot of fun just walking around, and I didn't have anybody to come with me, right? Bonnie, bless her heart, is not into plants, really. Like, she's not gonna walk around and let me talk to her about plants for 15, 20 minutes. So I started a YouTube channel. Yeah, and I just brought you guys along with me one time, and it was the best video I had at the point. I think I got 1,400 views on it, and thought that I'd gone viral. Yeah, 1,400 views for a guy that never gotten more than 100. 1,400 views is viral. And the rest is history. I was addicted at that point. I was like, finally, I have some people to come with me. A month later, I was monetized. Once I figured out what you guys wanted to hear from me, it was pretty easy. I wouldn't mind getting more of these blushing ruffles daylilies. We've shown that on a slide before, so I don't need a slide for that, but I'd like to. Okay, I got an idea. I thought about it earlier. We didn't do it.
Sorry.
Oh, you're in charge. You're in charge. All right, check this out. Look at these. So this is a Virginia creeper, a variegated Virginia creeper. Now, Virginia creeper grows all over the place in our woods, all over the place. It was actually in forestry class one of the things that I had to be able to identify. So, been around long enough. Look at that. It's a variegated Virginia creeper. Wouldn't this look cool? Just throwing this out here. Wouldn't this look cool? That's $22.98. Wouldn't this look amazing growing up and training it around that mirror and have that kind of draping over that mirror? Oh, I think that would look good. Back there on that side of the shed with the hardy hibiscus and the... But I could also do that exact same thing with this clematis. That's the rub. That's the rub. I can't necessarily say that I want to grow this on the fence. But I could. And it would probably grow really well. You know what? We're going to hold off on this. I know this is an option. I really don't want to spend the money either, guys. In all honesty. Let's be honest with each other. We're friends. We're friends. Let's just be honest with each other. I got to mind my P's and Q's. For my financials. All right. There is probably... runs all the way around the aisle, and runs around, and then has this top too of all of these like 2-gallon clematis. Yeah. Is that what? This is funny. So I've got a Monrovia pink champagne that's normally $24.98, and then you have a little clematis here. Come on, baby. You have this little clematis here that should be in a 4-inch pot for $20. So I would spend the extra $5 and get the smaller Monrovia, but that's just me. I've just seen Monrovia clematis literally jump out of the ground as soon as you plant them and throw some agriform tabs in there. But really I guess what I'm trying to say is whenever they overbuy like this on clematis, because they're not, I mean, there's a couple of them that have blooms on, but they're done. Whenever you start seeing beautiful 2-gallon clematis on the clearance rack, and then you see all of these clematis, these are all going to go on that clearance rack. So if you see something like that, if you're inner hobo of horticulture senses start tingling that this is way too many clematis, because once they're done blooming, now, like what happened with that mock orange, I just walked by and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty little bloom, let me take a look at it, and now we're starting a conversation about mock orange. That's not going to happen. If there wasn't a bloom on it, I just would have walked past it, right? So I find myself being susceptible to that retail, that retail mindset also. That's a lot of clematis, guys. That's a lot of clematis that's going to end up going on clearance, and they're going to be $8. Well, yeah. I think, or those might be 50% off. But still, I mean, that's okay now. Our value proposition has gone up, right? Now we're not throwing good money after bad. Yeah. These are all clearance. These are all these Asiatic lilies that are $5.94, but the problem with the $5.94 price stuff is they end up going down to $4, and it's like, okay, so I'm saving $1.50 on what? One bulb? Buy your Asiatic lilies online, Beirut. Now this might be something. Here's some more clearance. Over here, and there's a bunch of this American Pie key lime, Monrovia, for $11.98. So $7 a piece. That's a pretty decent deal. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I do like these, but I like the white more than I like the green throat. But for $7, that's doable. Let's see what else we got here. We got a Nitty-gritty red in a 5-gallon for $34.98. Which is a good deal full retail, so that takes us to 50% off. Anything above $15 is 50% off. I got to keep remembering that. You'd think I've been doing this long enough that I would notice. You'd be wrong. That's the unfortunate side effect of being a dummy. All right, let's see here. White roses. Not a huge fan of white roses, but I do like the Grace and Grit white. Nitty-gritty yellow. That's a little one. 5-gallon. You see it up there. 5-gallon Nitty-gritty yellow.
How you doing?
What's up, man? Got some. This really isn't mine. I saw it. I need to go back and talk about it. This is a strawberry vanilla strawberry grasses.
No.
Yep.
Yes,
Strawberry and cream. Strawberry and cream, $8.98. Doggone it. All right. You got some splaining to do, Lucy. When I get home, we're gonna have some splaining to do. I mean, it's $4. It's $4, and this is a great grass. It's great. Oh, let's put it in the cart. Let's grab the other one. Yep, they don't look spectacular, but I'll find a place for them. I mean, here's the great thing about grasses. They're really easy to separate. I plant grasses. I just spent so many years of my life pulling grass out of flower beds that putting grass back in flower beds is sometimes difficult for me. It has to be something really special for me to do that. Speaking of really special, these irises, as beautiful as they look, are not hardy in our zone. And I would have to, it's a tropical iris, but it's 1998. I feel like you should be having more fun with those flags than you are, and I feel like, yeah, I feel like you're letting yourself down. I wish those things were hardy. I wish they were hardy. You know, because for $10 I would take one home. I've got a perfect spot for it, but I am not going to remember. I am not going to remember to pull it out. I won't. Now, I have seen gardeners, especially before they take pictures, they have pots that they set in certain places to make it look fuller. I could do something like that before I did a video, but I feel like it's misrepresenting the situation. I have this scared feeling that somebody's gonna think I'm fake, and I can't do that, but that is a technique. Look at this little guy. Look at that pretty guy. Pink Fantasy. I feel like I've got one of those. They just bought. Okay, well, not necessarily a super successful trip, but I am trying to learn from what you guys are telling me in the comments, that if I burn a video, you're gonna burn me. So I'm not gonna burn any more videos. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be diligent. I just realized my mic wasn't on this entire time. I'm a genius. I'm a genius. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me on Landscape Rescue. My name's Stuart Moore, and thank you very much for letting me into your home to talk about plants.